Alright, so we got a sick combo we're about to do today. So yeah, I saw Chinmachine do this really sick combo the other day. This was like middle of April. And yeah, so we're going to do that combo today. And it's basically like a hybrid. It's kind of like a delete scratch. It's kind of like a 2-click delete scratch hybrid, but the baby, the rub that's at the beginning of it is much faster than like a regular delete scratch. So this is like a new scratch that Chinmachine was doing. It's like I think him and Kimmelix were ripping it up in the studio. And so yeah, so we're gonna cover that scratch. So, and we're also gonna do the TTM. We're gonna draw it out and stuff like that too. But so this scratch is basically like this. It's going right, just a rub, and then right. So that's a 2-click flare, but it's a 2-click flare variation. All right. It's not a evenly spaced 2-click flare where all 3 sounds are equally spaced. The first 2 sounds are basically equal the same space as the third sound. So it's going, and then right, and then the same thing on the way back. So like that. So whoops. So it's like this. So. Alright, so it's like that. It's going divot what the divot what the divot what the divot what the. So it's going like that. So like that. So it's really cool. It's a really cool scratch. This is a cross rhythm scratch, and by cross rhythm means that if you keep looping it over and over, you have it over like a regular 4/4 time signature, it's not going to be, it's going to loop in a weird way, you know. So it's going. All right, so that's how it goes. All right, and we're going to draw this out. All right, but we're going to start doing it first. So it's going. And the cool thing is that when you end this scratch, it's like when you go, when you're halfway through it, you've already kind of stopped, and it you know, you can transition to other scratches. It's kind of like basketball with triple threat position. Shout out to, you know, Shortcut and the triple threat DJs. And in basketball, the triple threat is when you're holding the ball and it's like, hey, you could either shoot, you could dribble with it, or you could pass it. You know, you can do a lot of different things. Once you, this scratch is cool because it's kind of like, once you do that part, you can move to a lot of other stuff. I mean, you know, because it, you know, it stops the record and it has like a very pronounced, you know, deceleration of the sound. You know, so you can basically just, you know, it's basically a logarithmic movement. You know, so it's basically going like a power down of the record. You're hearing that in the sound. So it's going divot what the do. So it's like that. So, all right. So that's just the first part. So, and then the backwards part is the same thing. Like, and then, so like that. So it's going. Alright, so divot what to do, divot what to do. Alright, so like that. So That's the first half. We'll have the TTM up there. I'll put that up there. The TTM ASCII character set, which is a .ttf file that you can use in your computer, and it works in any graphic design program. All right, and I'll have the thing written on the bottom. All right, so let's try that again. So. Alright, so let's go slow. And another cool thing about this scratch is that you can really go like that. You can get a really strong accent in there, and then you add that half orbit in there. So it's like, alright? Whoops. Alright, so. Alright, let's try it again. Alright. So let's see. Let's try that with another sound. Let's see. Let's try with ah. Notice this ah is very, very worn out. It's been scratched probably a billion times, so it's got a lot of static to it. Alright, let's try it with another sound. Turn it up a little bit. Oops. Alright, so it's going. Alright, so. Alright, so. So once again, this is like a delete hybrid, because remember the delete scratch goes like this. It goes. That's a delete scratch. And then remember a two-click delete is going to go like this. It's going to go in. So you notice it's similar. It's a similar thing, but it sounds totally different than what Chinmachine is doing. So let's go back to fresh. So here's the delete scratch once again. But a delete scratch isn't a cross rhythm though. A delete scratch is just like this is like a straight 4/4 kind of beat. Just going one. It's going double wooka, double wooka, double wooka, double wooka. So it's going. All right, and then with the two clicks, I'm going. Right, but it sounds totally different than Chinmachine scratch, which is going. All right, so. All right. we're going to draw this, and then we're going to get a metronome. All right, so let's do it a little bit more. So. Okay, let's do that a little bit more. Here we go. So, start out really slow. And another cool thing about this scratch is that it sounds cool wherever you start it. So I can start, because a lot of scratches, they only, like a chirp, only sounds kind of really good when you're starting at the beginning of the scratch like this. But if you chirp in the middle of the scratch, it sounds cool, but it doesn't sound as cool. But this scratch is kind of cool because it doesn't really, it's such a kind of slurred kind of sound where it can sound cool if you start in the middle of a sound like this. So like, right? So I'm in the middle of the sound and it still sounds cool. But I do like how it sounds better at the start of the sound. So that's why that first rub is going to be a lot sharper than the second rub, the one that's on the way back, because that second rub is already in the middle of the sound. So alright, so now we're going to draw this out. So let's draw this. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. Alright, so we're going to draw this out. So let's draw this out. So basically this scratch has about, on the first motion it's got about, let's draw it out like this. Here it goes. Alright, so we'll go like this. This is going to be the first half. And I'm going to divide this into 6 pieces. So this is, so this is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's make this like that. Alright, so this is basically going like this. Is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Alright, so it's going to go, this first sound, just making a little ruler here. This first sound is going to be a baby scratch, right? And it's just going to go for it'll last for 2 sounds. So it's open fader symbol right here. And this can be kind of a sharp one too, because you can go driv it, you know? You got a lot of, a lot of leeway. And then the rest is just one long logarithmic, this deceleration where it's going zzz. So it's driv it, what to do. Alright? And then I'll do another open fader symbol right there. So this is gonna be, there's gonna be a click right, so there's what to do, but not 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, it's not all 4 of these sounds. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's only going to be 1, 2, 3, and this is a longer note. So we're going to put a click here. This is, and there's nothing right there. And there's going to be another. It's going to be 1, 2. The click right here. All right. So it's going diva what to do, and then the same thing on the way back. So we'll draw another one. We'll draw 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Alright, like that. Okay, so it's going to do the same thing. This one is going to go right here, like that. So it's going to be lined up with that. So it's going, it's a backwards rub. So it's going diva what the diva, and then the same way on the way back. So it's going like this. Like that, right? And then we're gonna do another click here, a click at the middle. So it's what the duh. Alright, so it's gonna go diva and then click here, And that's it. So that's it right there. This is the Chinmachine pattern. Capital C. Chinmachine. Pattern. Let's say April 13th, I think. So yeah, that's the Chinmachine pattern. And Chinmachine, yeah, he's a dope turntablist out of Russia. Really sick turntablist out of Russia. He's you know, part of the Russian scratch crew that's they just battled the Executioners like last year, maybe 2 years ago. And you know, they're really sick. They're doing really amazing things out there. He's also, you know, he also is a finger drummer. He's really sick at finger drumming. He's really sick. Like, he's just on a higher level of music than a lot of DJs out there. He's very sick turntablist and beat composer. You know, everything. So we're gonna get back to this pattern. So this is going divot what the. You notice this could be higher too. Like, I didn't make this rub that big, but you know. So let me draw it again, so it looks a little bit more dynamic. All right. So this is basically, I'm just going to break it down. So this is a rub, right? And this is a reverse rub. Reverse means it's upside down. All right, so reverse rub. Break this down. That's a reverse rub. And this is a rub. All right, so that's a rub. And this is a reverse rub. All right, and we'll do this with some different sounds and things like that, but you know, this is a really cool scratch. So this is a rub, a reverse rub, and then this is basically a half of a 2-click orbit, but it's a 2-click orbit variation, because if it was a regular 2-click orbit, all three parts of this would be the same length. It'd be watata, but this isn't. It's not going watata 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 watata. This is going watata. It's going with the da 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 da. So what the da. So divot with the da. All right. So it's going. All right. And this is a cool thing you can link with some other scratches, like if you wanted to link it to like a tangent, like a 4-click tangent, like. All right. Oh yeah, so yeah, this is a really cool scratch. Really into the scratch, so we're gonna keep doing it some more. So. Alright, now let's see what this sounds like with the drum scratch. Turn this up. Whoops. All right. very cool scratch. I'm not sure how long he's been doing it, but April 13th is the first time I saw him doing it. And since that was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, what is that? Let me just keep trying that. I was doing it, you know. Figured it out. It's really, really sick, because it's real laid back. There's only 2 clicks on the first half of it, and then 2 clicks in the second, and it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sounds. So I'm gonna write that down. So this is basically 4 clicks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sounds. Yeah, so 4 clicks, 10 sounds. And this is a cross rhythm. This is I'll just put right here. Cross rhythm. This is a cross rhythm. Alright, and once again, cross rhythm means that when you loop them over and over, see, this is like, you know, 10 sounds altogether, but really it's kind of still in threes. You can divide it. This is in sixes, 6 pieces. So, you know, it really goes with more of like a 3/4 beat, or 6/4 beat, 6/8 beat better. So. Up a little bit. Let's see what this sounds like with some different kits. Nope, can't even hear anything with that one. Listen. See this one, there's a big space in between the kick and the snare. Like we talked about in past tutorials, when you have a big space between the kick and the snare, you're not going to really hear the nuances of it. So we're going to skip that sound. So this might sound good. Cool because there's a beatbox noise, you know, and you can hear all the clicks, you know. And we're going to do this over a metronome later on, so you can, you know, hear why it's a cross rhythm. Because we don't hear the beat that it's kind of going against, and you can't really tell it's a cross rhythm. that one you can't even really hear these two clicks. And it sounds like I'm messing it up, but I'm not. I'm doing the clicks, but you just don't hear them because there's a big space between the kick and the snare. All right. So we'll move on to the next one. So, see, in this one you can't even hear it either because there's a space between the kick and the snare. So, all right. And if we have a kick and the snare here, I'm gonna do that right here. So this is the version that's without a kick and a snare. Now down here we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to show what it is like with a kick and a snare. All right. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make 6 increments. 6 increments in each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 1. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, good. So we're going to do the same one. So we're just going to do this. I'm going to draw the circle right here. Alright, and then this other circle is going to be right here. Alright, and right here is going to be the dividing point. This is going to be where just the kick is. So this what we've been doing when we've been doing it, this rub is only happening on the kick. So this is going to be the kick. It's going to be the kick drum. I'll draw a little like audio file. This is the kick. The waveform. All right, and then this is going to be the snare. Right here. This is the snare. Alright, so that's the kick and that's the snare, so it's going kick snare. So it's going divot, and then on this kick, we're going to put this thing right there, it's going like that. So it's going, this is going up like that. This one's right there. Alright, so it's going like that. So it's divot what the duh. Alright? Remember, this is open, it's not closed. That's why it's got a little white in there. Alright, and then it's going to be one on the end. And it's going to be another 1, 1, 2, like that. Alright, so this one, so this other rub, this rub is happening on the snare. So this one is going divot, what the duh, and this is going sivot, looks like on the snare. So it's going sivot. It's a reverse rub only on the snare. And then this other thing is happening on both. Alright, so then we're going to put a click here. Alright, and then a click here. That's going da da da. Like that. So it's going divot with the da, divot with the da. Alright. Let's see how that sounds. Alright. See, this one you can't hear it much either because there's this big empty space in between. So if you click on the empty space, you're not going to hear anything. So yeah, you can't hear anything in that. I like the snare. The snare is hot though. Let me do it on just the snare. Watch. See, it's really low pitch if you try to do it on a really small area. So this works better with a larger amount of area. Alright, so we did all those on that side. Let's see how these sound. So this should sound good because it doesn't have empty space. Alright, sounds alright. So sound. So that one has, it doesn't sound that great. It's real chunky. I don't really like this particular kick and snare. It's kind of cloudy. So sounds either, but you see the pattern was working on it. All right, let's keep it moving. So. Okay. What happened? Just cut out. What that was about. Some weird wiring. Alright, that's too heavy, that kick and snare. See, I don't even have the bass up like that, you know. Kick and snare is way too heavy. I mean, the kick. So this one's probably not going to work because there's a big space in between the kick and the snare. See this empty space there. So yeah, you can't hear it. So you can't hear it. Skip to the next. This sounds cool. I like this one. Try it again. You can't even really hear it on that one. It doesn't sound like this. And you can't hear it that well. Because when you can't hear it that well, it makes you think that you're messing up, but you're not messing up. You're just clicking where there's empty space between this kick and the snare. Like I have this kick drawn out, you know, to where it meets the snare, like that first sample that I use. But most of these, the kick will stop right there. You know, the kick isn't going to keep going forever, you know? And there's an empty space. No, this one doesn't sound like that good either because it has an empty space once again, see? The empty space. You don't even hear it. So let's go to the next. Remember this rub, this was once again invented by Grand Wizard Theodore. Shout out to Grand Wizard Theodore. I can never forget the man who laid the foundation for all of this, you know, for all these scratches. You know. Alright, so let's go to the next. Nope, this one doesn't sound good because there's a big empty space in the middle, see? See. Nope, doesn't sound that cool. Sounds alright, I don't really like it, it's super muffled. So we're going to go back to the original, my favorite kick and snare on this record. Actually, let's try another record. I think I got a record right here. Let's see. Let's try some old school stuff. You know? For those who've been scratching for a minute, like me, we're gonna pull out some old school. So this is cool. So we're gonna do this scratch on a tone now. So we got this tone popping, right? So let's try here what it sounds like. So. Right? That sounds pretty cool. That's what I was saying. This scratch works well with tones, and every scratch doesn't sound that cool in tones, but this sounds kind of cool because you're kind of always you're just hearing a lot of the startups and power downs. And when I say power down, I mean the deceleration, the sound. It's not that I'm actually pressing power down, but just you're hearing the like zero or zero, right? And really, this one's going to probably be a little bit more curved like that, like zero. So it's going zero, So there's a lot of variations to this. So really, it should be going like this, where the ideal form of it is going to be like this. It's going to be going. It's basically going to be going like this. It's going to be going divot. All right, and then do like that, and then another thing there, and then divot. Right, and then it's probably going to do the same thing like this, going like that. So notice that these two, so this second click is going to be at the center point where like a flare would be, and this click is in between these, the open fader and that one. But the reason it doesn't look exactly in between is because anytime you have a curved line, it's going to kind of skew things. So it'll look like the clicks are closer together, but really they're not. Even if they're like perfectly in time and perfectly synced with the ruler, it's still going to, or the grid, it's, the different ways you inflect it's going to look different. So yeah, that's the same scratch. So I was just showing it different this time, where it's more like it's going zero instead of this one's more of a constant speed where it's just going zero. But you can, there's a million variations to this. But this is the basic idea. So, and now this time, I'm going to let it go, so that this is more of a straight line. So it's going divot, and then I'm going to let go of it instead of making it go zero. Instead of making it like deceleration, I'm just gonna let it go and go. So, all right. But on the way back, obviously, I have to pull it back because the record's not going backwards unless I was, using the reverse or something like that. So. All right. That was cool that the pitch went down both times at the same point. Oh, okay, so yeah, let's get off of that. Let's try something different. See if we can find some samples. This is how you know it's an old record.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult.
So this sounds cool because the sound's already going pew. So let's see what happens. Alright, so let's get a metronome in here. I'm going to go turn on the Google metronome, like I was saying last lecture. I think you know, you can just go to google.com and, you know, get a metronome. And we're gonna start off slow. We're gonna start off at like maybe put it on 124. All right. So the reason this is a cross rhythm is because when you loop this scratch, it doesn't have a perfect loop. It's not going. So I mean, so it's going like this. It's going. So it loops in a weird way. So try another one. All right, sounds all right. So it sounds cool with samples like that have a lot of different sounds. So in this one, I was making it more like a transformer. It's like, you know, like an open fader, you know, half orbit transformer. I'm going, divot with the so. Now we're going to speed it up. Speed it up, see what happens. 25, let's go a little bit faster. We're going to go to 140 now. Do a 15 beat per minute jump. All right. Try another sample.
Let me get busy. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Let's get back to just regular default on-fresh sound, because it's not about samples. But I was just showing you that it, you can use it on different samples. It sounds cool. Alright, let's speed this up. The cool thing is this only has 2 clicks for every cycle of the scratch. So then you can pretty much go kind of fast. So now we're going to go to 152 beats per minute. Added another 12. Here we go. Alright. So I'm lagging on that one. I was lagging on that. Devil what the should be like devil what the 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 devil what the. So like that. Devil what the devil what the devil what the devil what the devil what the. Alright, I'm gonna speed up some more. See how fast we can go. Now we're at 164. When I saw Chinmachine do it, I think he was at 82, which is the same as 164. He was doing a double like cross rhythm over a slow beat. Now we're gonna do it like this. So it should sound like this. Devil. I'm starting to get tired. I've been doing this for like, how long is it now? Like 45 minutes for me. Alright, so yeah, my arm is totally tired now. That's what I was saying, every video I stress, you don't want to practice, over, I mean, I personally think it's not great to practice over like a half an hour, over even 25 minutes. Because then your arm starts to get sore, then you start to practice, not at your 100%. Alright. Alright, so now we're going to do a quick review of this. So this is basically like it's kind of like a delete, a 2-click delete with a swing. But this is a new scratch. You know, shout out to Chinmachine for inventing the scratch and uploading it to the world so we can all study it. He's killing the patterns. He's one of my favorite turntablists. You know, there's only a handful of cats that I personally really follow and really study for as far as new scratches. But shout out to everybody that uses old scratches. But it's really cool to be able to drop new scratches because it's unique. Instead of having to kind of be locked into the stuff from the past. But so yeah, once again, this is only 4 clicks in this whole scratch, and it's making 10 sounds. So that's a lot of sounds with just 4 clicks. That's why you can go pretty fast. So this is the Chinmachine Pattern, and definitely check out Chinmachine stuff. Definitely check out his page. I'll put a link to his YouTube. He's really sick, very sick. And yeah, his crew. I believe it's like the Russian Scratch League. They are they're doing big stuff out of Russia. All right. So once again, this is a rub. All right. So it's going divot, what to do, divot, what to do. So divot, what to do, divot, what to do. So it's going divot, what to do, divot, what to do. Kind of like some old Twister kind of patterns, because in the future we're going to be doing a lot more. We're going to be doing a rap matrix. We're going to be breaking down patterns, and this pattern kind of has a feel of that kind of that Twister era kind of stuff where it's like Twister definitely dropped patterns like this in his career. Definitely even has stuff like this on the radio. So the rappers are affecting the DJs, and in the 90s, there was a lot of us DJs that would do lyrical scratching where we would I'm sure 80s everybody was always doing it where people would try to scratch the way that the rappers are rapping, but not when I created the Matrix. I realized that there's more scratch patterns than rap patterns. And I was just telling my homie Tyrone, shout out to, he goes by Mental Stamina, and I was telling him that really, since there's more scratch patterns than rap patterns, that means that eventually in the future, MCs are going to have to study these scratch patterns if they're going to try to make new unique rap patterns, because a lot of rap patterns are kind of limited to like the transform kind of world where it's like da 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 or da 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 or da 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 da. It's not taking into account like change of direction, like wha, and the actual phonetics of the patterns and stuff like that. So it's going what da 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 instead of going da da da. So instead of going da 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 da, or instead of just going da 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 like a transform, like going, you could do with this and be like da 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 da, But this sounds different than going what da 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 da, what da 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 da. So divot, so it's going divot what da da, divot what da da. There's so many different variations of all these. So yeah, this is, and I'm not gonna name this particular scratch because this is the Chinmachine scratch. So I'm gonna call it, the name of this video. I'll have it as the Chinmachine Pattern. But yeah, and that's it. So signing off. Peace. Oh yeah, and I forgot too. Definitely, check out Chinmachine's music, the Russian Scratch League. But also, it's very important to note that Chinmachine is also TTM literate. He's got a Matrix poster on his wall. He's at a really high level of scratching, and a lot of people feel that TTM's not necessary. But of course, it's obviously not necessary. Just like you could learn your multiplication tables without ever writing it down. But if you write the stuff down, it's just going to expand and extend your ability to memorize scratches and to be able to jot them down and things like that. And then you can create new variations. So like in this, you could add an extra click and be like divot what da 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 divot what da 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 divot what da da da, like that. So we'll do that. We'll make a whole another variation.